Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. This is March 23rd. The month is going fast. This is March 23rd, and this is the 58th episode of Season 3 of the Be Your Own Hero Show. 58 episodes, almost 60 of the third season. Season 3 is all about doing. That means taking action, not just listening to me, but actually doing something out there in the world. That means me too, not just talking about things, but actually doing something out in the world. And let's get back to what HERO is. The hero of the Be Your Own Hero Show is an acronym. It means helping everyone reaps optimism. There's my HERO hoodie, which is available in the HERO store, which is on my website, SekouWrites.com. And HERO is an acronym, like I said, helping everyone reaps optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. Helping others helps you is reciprocal action. And I'm your host. I'm Sekou Writes. I'm a professional creative and the creator of what we're now calling the HERO Ministry Movement, soon to be a nonprofit. And that's my effort to uplift and inspire people generally, and specifically the unhoused community. Join me here Monday through Friday, 9:45 a.m. Eastern, 8:45 a.m. Central, 7:45 a.m. Mountain Time. And shout out to New Thought Media Network for allowing me this space and this platform to talk about my journey of becoming my own hero. And most recently, my journey of becoming my own financial hero. And that was dictated by you, the viewers out there. So I hope you're enjoying this journey of finance. If this show provides any value, please like, please comment, please share, please spread the word so other people can find out about it so they can start their own journey of becoming their own financial hero. And remember that I am not a personal trainer nor am I a financial advisor. So take what I say with a grain of salt, do your own homework, do your own due diligence. I like what I said a few minutes ago. I don't think I've said that before. Spread the word so that other people can start to become their own financial heroes. Yeah, that's real. That's real. It's a process. It's an education. It takes relentless effort. Relentless, consistent effort. That said, let's get into it. So HERO Ministry Movement News. Today is day 296 of my run streak, but I'm going to play the video of my run report from yesterday, day 295, because I didn't do that run report until late in the day, so you might have missed it. So I'm going to play that one, and then we'll talk about the rest of the HERO Ministry News. So let's add that. Well, I hope you like my green wall. I kind of dig it. I might use it again. Actually, let me take my face out of the frame. All right, so here's yesterday's run story. Check it out. Run report, day 295. I've been running every day, at least a mile a day for now, 295 days in a row. Rough day today. I missed my morning run. I usually run in the 6 a.m. hour. I missed it today because I was just tired. The trip to Alabama caught up with me. And it's no wonder. I was hanging out with my Morehouse brother, Kelvin, the other night. And I was explaining to him what I did. And when he reflected it back to me, I was like, oh, that was crazy. That was like kind of insane. So just to recap, I drove 4 hours from Nashville to Montgomery, Alabama. I had napped for a couple hours, got back up, picked up the other runners at 5 a.m., drove them from Montgomery to Selma, drove them back from Selma to Montgomery, ran a 5K, had a slice of pizza, got back on the road to Nashville to drive another 4 hours back. Yeah, it's no wonder I'm feeling tired now. Right? Shout out to Tim for also saying on my show today in the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah, you should be tired. So I guess I wasn't really thinking about it that way, but yeah, it caught up with me, and so I'm recalibrating. I missed my morning run. I was going to run with Black Men Run today in the afternoon, in the evening, but they're not running today. Apparently there's a weather advisory. Looks a little ominous. So I just jumped out here and got it in. Okay, the sweat's getting in my eyes, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this short.
That's my run story. My run story is just get past the excuses, whatever the excuses are, and get it done. All right, keep doing. Be a hero. Be your own hero. Remember that now is better than perfect, and get after it, no matter what. No matter what the excuses are. Later.
Run report. Okay, so that was yesterday's run report. Shout out to Tim for being here live. And also shout out, I hope you heard your shout out in that run report. Shout out to Diego for being here live too. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Yeah, so that was yesterday's run report, and today's is up. Day 296 is up. It's on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, so check that out. Easier day today than yesterday. Easier day today than yesterday. But I'm still taking it easy, kind of, finding my rhythm after Alabama. That sounds like a movie title or something. Finding my rhythm after Alabama. So anyway, like I said, today was day 296. Moving on. So just a circle back to Brown Boy Mad. Two things. Brown Boy Mad, once again, was my play, or is my play, that debuted at Fisk. Debuted again at Fisk on March 11th and 12th. I was mentioning the footage because Fisk recorded it, but apparently the footage was corrupted in some way, so there will not be a recording the way there was last time. There won't be a way for you to see it, unfortunately. So I'm going to see what I've got in terms of my footage from Facebook and see if I can splice something together. Probably not. Probably you're not going to be able to see this version except for little snippets. But I'll keep you posted. And also, you can still text to give to Fisk. The phone number that you text to is 56512. I'll say that again, 56512. You can watch the replay of the show, replay it, and catch it if you need to. But you literally just text the word Fisk to 56512, and it'll give you options to donate to the university. I've done it myself. And in this case, we're donating to the Fisk Stagecrafters. That is the drama department at Fisk University, who have embodied my play now twice. First as a staged reading, and now as a fully formed play directed by Professor Persephone Felder-Fintress. She did an amazing, amazing job. All right, so that was just a quick note. And moving on to the envelope challenge. I want to know who's still rocking with the envelope challenge with me. Put it in the chat. Let me know if you're still rocking with me on this envelope challenge. Because if you're not still doing it, maybe I'll move on to talk about other things. I'm still going to do it. But I just want to know who else is still with me. So once again, this is the envelope challenge. The number one excuse for people not investing is that they don't have enough money to invest. And that's why we're doing this envelope challenge. This is my remix of the envelope challenge. The original envelope challenge works a little differently, but my version uses dice. So you take a die, you roll it every day. Today's number is 1. Easy day. Today's number is 1. You're going to take $1 and transfer that from your checking over into your shiny new savings account that is specifically earmarked for investing. You're going to decide what number you're trying to reach, like $100, $200, $300, whatever the number you're trying to reach is. And once you get to that amount, you're going to sweep the account. You're going to move all that money into an investment, into, let's just say, a brokerage account, because mostly we've been talking about investing in the stock market. So you let it build up to a certain amount, sweep it into your brokerage account. So hope you're doing that with me. Today's number is 1. Transfer your dollar. Okay, so moving on to Morning Zen. Actually, Morning Zen is going to be different today because I'm still unpacking the run in Alabama. And for those of you that are just joining us, this is what happened. There was an epic 51-mile relay race from Selma, Alabama to Montgomery, Alabama this past Saturday. I participated. I was one of the relay runners. I was the last relay runner, actually. So I was the one that got to cross the finish line. It was an amazing experience. It was also part of, it was also in homage to Bloody Sunday, which happened, 57 years ago in 1965. And it was the original attempt that Martin Luther King made to march from Selma to Montgomery. And it's called Bloody Sunday because the people who marched were attacked not even outside of Selma. Now that I've been there and I've seen it physically, I can tell you that they didn't even make it outside of Selma. They got attacked at the bridge entering the city. As soon as they crossed that bridge, they were attacked by state police and other racists and beaten badly, hence the name Bloody Sunday. I just found out that Vice President Kamala was there in Selma the next day. Our relay was Saturday, but she came to Selma Sunday also to commemorate Bloody Sunday. And if I had known that, I would have stayed an extra day and I'd be much less tired having spent an extra night in Alabama. But I just found out about that. So it's good to know that there are other people who are commemorating this iconic event that happened in our history and ultimately led to the Voting Rights Act, which ended discrimination in voting, ended in air quotes discrimination in voting, because as we know, that was just a law on the books, but it is taking time to enforce it fully. Okay, so that said, shout out to the people talking about the Unhoused Challenge. Tim is not doing it, but he thinks it's helpful. All right, that's cool. Get on it, man. Get in there. It's only like $1 a day. Do it today, because it's only $1 today. So get on it, because then you can invest that money. And Linda is still doing the Unhoused Challenge. All right, so cool. So we'll keep rocking with it, because again, that gives us this money with which we can use to invest. All right. So anyway, I'm on the morning Zen and I'm on the run. So I was just recapping what happened on Saturday and the fact that the vice president came to Selma on Sunday to commemorate the same thing that we were commemorating with our run. Okay, so I want to show another video. I was going to show this yesterday and ran out of time, but I want to show this video and talk about a couple things in relation to this video. Okay, I'm getting this queued up. I'm not even going to introduce what this is. I'm just going to let you see what it is, and then I'll tell you what's going on. All right, here we go. Okay, so I played it twice so you can get a good look. That's obviously me crossing the finish line in Montgomery, Alabama. That video came to us via Black Men Run Tampa. As I mentioned before, I knew intellectually that Black Men Run had multiple chapters, but seeing that was incredible. Like, there were all these men from all these cities that converged on Montgomery, and that video, again, came to us from the men of Black Men Run Tampa. One of those guys was at the line, the finish line, he got that video. Now, this is why I wanted to show it. If you heard me talk about the finish line, me finishing the race, you heard me say that I was flying, that I was running so fast that people couldn't keep up with me. You heard me say that. And that felt very real to me. But if you saw that video just now, you see that clearly I was not. Clearly I was not running that fast. I was kind of just loping along. And you also heard me say that the other runners of Black Men Run Nashville couldn't keep up with me. And you saw in that video, that's also false. That the guy who was running with me fell back. I hope you saw that. Maybe I'll play it again. But he fell back to allow me to finish the race on my own. And the other guy who threw confetti, I hope you saw that too, who threw confetti, had no problem keeping up with me. But again, it felt 100% real, 100% factual, what I said, that nobody could keep up with me, and I was flying across the finish line. And looking at that video, it's clearly not true. Those things are clearly not true. So that led me down a rabbit hole, because I was thinking about the discrepancy between my remembrance of what happened versus the video that shows what actually happened. And that took me to some places. And I remembered something I read about memory, but I couldn't find it. I couldn't remember the source. And so I just kind of went down the Google rabbit hole. And yes, basically, memory is unreliable. That's the bottom line. That's the pull quote. Memory is unreliable. We all think that our memory is ironclad, is reliable. But factually speaking, neuroscientifically speaking, memory is not just unreliable, it is notoriously unreliable. That's the quote that I found. Memory is notoriously unreliable. And it's even more unreliable when you add an emotional charge of any kind, positive or negative. You add emotion to it, memory becomes even less reliable. And this was a perfect example. Like, you heard me talk about like running like Mercury across the finish line. Nobody could keep up with me, right? And you saw the video. It's like, yeah, I was moving, but I wasn't moving. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it was fascinating to me to be shown in a clear way that memory is unreliable. And so to me, that speaks to something deeper that we've been talking about, that you shouldn't accept what your mind tells you at face value. You've got to be in a bit of a push and pull with your mind. Like, my mind told me that I was flying across the finish line at Mach 5, right? But that's obviously not true. And so that can be applied in other situations as well. How many other situations are happening in my life and your life where we think we know exactly what happened? We think we know exactly what someone else said to us, exactly what we did, exactly what the situation was, but memory is unreliable. And when you build in the fact that memory is unreliable, you have to give yourself much more grace and give people around you much more grace too. Maybe they didn't say exactly what you think they said. Maybe your interpretation of it is based on your view of the circumstances. So it just really invites us to do more internal work and to be less certain. There's this thing that I say sometimes. I say certainty is a firewall. Certainty is a firewall. And I've learned that over the past couple of years. Like, the more certain we are about something, the more we really need to take a closer look at it. Because when we're certain about something, then we don't allow any other possibilities in. We say, I'm certain that this is what happened, this is how it happened. And therefore, you close yourself off to even entertaining other possibilities. And shutting yourself off from those other possibilities, shut yourself off from whatever good that might have come from that event, whatever insight you might have gotten. So take that as a little piece of homework. Like, think about some memory that you have that you're certain about, and open yourself up to uncertainty about that same event. And just, if you have trouble with that, just think about the example I just showed you. Think about how certain I was that I was zooming. Like, I'm telling you, in my memory right now, I still feel like I was flying, right? But I see the video. So use that as your example to think about an experience that you've been talking about maybe for years or months that you're certain about, and invite yourself to think about it differently. Invite some uncertainty into it and see what opens up for you. Okay, so I'm done with that because I want to get to abundance. I haven't talked to abundance this week because I've been talking about this run, which has been epic and a gift on so many levels. But I do want to talk about some abundance stuff that's been going on. So, okay, so abundance, let's get to our affirmation. We're going to do it twice, once for the words and once for the feeling. So, I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. And with feeling, I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. Ashe, get it in your bones, feel it. And my reminder, if you only spend, you'll stay poor. If you only save, you'll stay middle class. You must invest to become wealthy. It's not optional. Okay. So that said, I want to talk just a little bit about the news and just a reminder for us to not get caught up in the story of the news. Like, yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. There's been a lot going on in the world for the past couple of years, really. But again, there's something happening in the world right now that has the world's attention. And just a reminder not to get too caught up in it, because what can you do from your sofa? Right? Like, staring at the news over and over again isn't going to help the situation. You can contribute to the vibration of the world by meditating and being centered and putting positive vibes out there into the universe. But there's not much change you can affect by watching the news religiously and being caught up in the story of negativity about what's happening, right? That said, you can make a choice to divert your attention elsewhere. And what I've been doing is practicing that. Like, I didn't do it as much with the pandemic, but I'm attempting to do that now with Ukraine. And what I learned, I'm putting learned in air quotes because I haven't done a deep dive on it yet, but what I've heard actually on my way to and from Alabama, I was listening to podcasts with the intent of looking elsewhere. Like, let's look away from what's happening in Ukraine and look at the ripple effects that's happening financially. And what I heard was that when there's wartime, precious metals are the thing to purchase. Like, apparently, and again, I haven't done a deep dive yet, but apparently the value of precious metals is a better store of value than typical currency. And when there's volatility, when there's insecurity, one of the best things to do, apparently, is to acquire gold, silver, other precious metals, buy and hold them, because they are a good store of value again. So that really begs the question, what are other things that you can acquire in times of volatility that might benefit you? Which reminds me of my story from the pandemic. There was a stock that I bought because it fell during the pandemic. And then as the pandemic has lessened and lessened, it shot up. And if I had put 100% of the resources that I had available at the time into that stock, I would have made 5 figures just on that stock, that one stock. We're not talking about like trading, really. We're talking about buying one stock and then riding it back up because of the pandemic. So I'm sure right now there are similar stocks. But I will say this, though, that stock was and is a known brand. And I've been cautioning myself and cautioning you against trying to find a winner. In other words, trying to find an obscure stock that you think is going to take off. Play with the stocks that are known entities. Like the ones that are traded in the S&P 500 is an easy rule. That gives you 500 stocks to play with. But invest in those 500 stocks while they're on sale. I mean, they're on sale because of what's happening in the world. The value of those stocks dips, and then you can buy them and then ride them back up. I mentioned this in terms of the FANG stocks: Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. My intent right now is to acquire as much of those 5 stocks as I can. I'm using Cash App, which lets you buy fractional shares. It's my alarm. Lets you buy fractional shares of those stocks, so that my hope is to buy a full share of as many of those 5 FANG stocks as I can, so that I can ride them back up after this volatility settles down. And I'm inviting you to think of the world around you in the same way. Like, shift your attention from what's happening to what you should be doing financially. Even if you just Google it, you'll find some interesting stuff. Like, that's how I came across this podcast that was talking about buying precious metals. And I haven't made a move in that field. It's just interesting to me to hear people talk like kind of matter-of-factly about, you're supposed to buy precious metals in wartime. Well, I never knew that. I never heard that before. But it's interesting to be privy to those types of conversations with people who know what to do when there's volatility in the world and how you can use that to your own advantage. So I invite you to take that exploration with me. Next thing I want to talk about, separate from that, is I've been talking quite a bit about Shaq and Warren Buffett, the 75-25 rule of Shaq's and the 90-10 rule of Warren Buffett's. And I've got an update for myself, and maybe this will be helpful to you too. My update is my current plan, this is adapted from what it was before, is to use I'm going to call it a 75-25 twist, right? So when there's a lump sum of money that's unexpected, like a rent deposit coming back when you move out of an apartment, or a tax refund, or some big amount of money that you weren't necessarily counting on or wasn't necessarily in use, I want to apply the 75-25 to that. So in other words, invest 75% of that, set aside for investing. You can even put it in that bucket that we talked about earlier for the envelope challenge, that other savings account. Put it right in there. And then use 25% for a splurge, or just put it in your checking account and just let it be there. But live a little with the 25%. The 75%, shuttle it away. Now I'm calling it a twist because in terms of regular income, I'm going to inverse the numbers. In terms of regular income, I'm going to invest at least 25% and then have the 75% just be there in checking. Now I'm thinking about it that way because, you got bills, right? And Shaq was able to invest 75% of his entire income because he had a significant income. He could still get everything done with 25%. But I don't know. I don't know if we can effectively live off of 25%. It might be possible, but I don't know. So I know that we can live off of 75% of our normal income and invest 25%. That I know. So I'm instituting what I'm calling a 75-25 twist. So it's the 75-25. That is the same formula. It just flips based on the money. Like if it's unexpected income, then 75% invested. If it's your standard paycheck, then at least 25% invested. And either way, you still are building your money to invest. And then that takes us to the other side of the equation, the Warren Buffett side, which is 90-10. He suggests 90% in index funds and 10% in bonds. So I've done a little bit of research into bonds because of Warren Buffett's quote. I never would have looked if it hadn't been for that quote. And I bought into a bond ETF. Now, just a reminder, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's like buying a whole aisle of goods. In other words, there are multiple companies in that aisle that someone else has already cherry picked, and you're just buying the whole aisle. So you don't have to try to figure out which bond to get. You can just buy them all and not worry about the performance of one particular bond. So that's what I did. I only got one share. I'm going to see how that plays. But if I feel much safer investing in bonds is something that I'm not really familiar with, by buying an ETF, because the risk is minimized. There's diversity built into it. And here's my further thought. My further thought is, in terms of the 90-10, I'm thinking of it now as 95-5. So I agree with Warren Buffett. I trust Warren Buffett to know that index funds are where you should put 90% of your funds. So index funds, 90%, right? And then that other 10%, I'm dividing into 5% and 5%. 5% into bonds. Let's follow Warren Buffett. He knows what he's doing. His net worth is $114 billion. My man knows his math, right? But that other 5% is where you can play, right? That gives you a sense of learning, a place to make mistakes, a place to make some wins. Maybe you're going to get some ETFs. Maybe you're going to experiment a little. Maybe you're going to trade a little bit. But if you've got 95% of what you invested put away in some place secure and relatively safe, then that gives you a little more freedom to play. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And it's taken all this time to develop that theory of action. Oh, I'm over time. Oh, sorry. So I'm going to finish my sentence. So it's taken me all this time to develop that theory of action. And I think that's the way I'm going to move for the immediate future. And I'll talk about how that's going soon come. Okay, so closing out, I'm already eating into prayer time. Sorry about that prayer time. At 10:30, Sip with Rev Melissa. Rev Melissa will not be live today, but I will be there to host the show. So check me out again in about 15 minutes where I'll be hosting Sit with Rev Melissa. And keep doing, be a hero, be your own hero. Remember that now is better than perfect. I see there's a bunch of comments. I'll check the comments after the show. I don't know where the time went today. All right, I'll see you in about 15 later.